Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So ONDO is a huge gem, as you guys probably already know. I just made a video regarding ONDO recently, but we have been seeing some pretty significant updates happening around this space. Now, I did talk a little bit more about what NASDAQ did recently announce in a previous XRP video. But I want to bring it up because it does support what ONDO is doing. And remember that Ripple does also have ties back to ONDO. And same with the XRP ledger and XRP. So with that being said, let's actually talk a little bit more about what's going on right now and why I personally believe that projects like ONDO will be worth trillions of dollars. So let's go over to the official post from the president at NASDAQ, and we have from the open outcry trading pits of the past to today's real-time, globally interconnected electronic markets, investors and industry participants have greatly benefited from the modernization of markets. That's why NASDAQ will enable 24-hour trading on the NASDAQ stock market, pending regulatory approval and alignment with critical industry infrastructure providers. We anticipate our timeline being in the second half of 2026. The global growth of investor demand for U.S. equities means we stand at another pivotal moment for our markets to broaden investor access, expand wealth building opportunities, and redefine how markets function. While the promise of round-the-clock trading can make our markets more accessible, it also demands careful and deliberate planning. Liquidity, transparency, and integrity remain the lifeblood of vibrant markets, and any structural change must uphold these principles. Our long-standing history of technology and infrastructure investments into our markets will ensure that we bring world-class 24-hour trading experience with stability, capacity, and resiliency to market participants and investors. At NASDAQ, we are ready to meet the opportunities and challenges that extending trading hours present by doing what we have always done, embracing innovation while maintaining the integrity of our markets. Now, what's crazy about this is we just heard from Vlad Tenev from Robinhood, CEO of Robinhood, that in order to actually achieve 24/7 trading, because we know that this is basically going to be talking about 24/5, it's going to follow the typical stock market, but if they wanted to take another step and go 24/7, they would require blockchain. It's very challenging from like an actual traditional infrastructure to meet the needs that 24-hour trading actually requires. And that does, really kind of focus on liquidity, transparency, and integrity. Those things are crucial. I think that that's why they're anticipating the timeline being about the second half of 2026, because it requires a lot of work. But I feel as if they are going to require DLT. They are going to require new technology. And I do think that that new technology will require, or possibly even include, tokenization. So I have to watch, wait, and see what happens here. But it feels as if the market around modernization, digitization, and even the efficiencies that this type of technology, aka blockchain and DLT, offer is now becoming urgent. And over here, remember this, going back to January, ONDO posted, Larry Fink, BlackRock's CEO, just said live on CNBC that as a huge believer in blockchain, he wants the SEC to rapidly approve the tokenization of bonds and stocks. ONDO is proud to be at the forefront of a seismic shift in the global economy. Check it out.
As a huge believer of crypto and blockchain and tokenization, I want the SEC to rapidly approve the tokenization of bonds and stocks.
Now, again, when Larry Fink talks, the SEC or whoever he is addressing, they listen. Okay. But the focus here is tokenization of bonds and stocks. At the same exact time that players like NASDAQ are now talking about 24/5 trading or possibly even 24/7 trading, the best way to do this is through tokenization, having things move on chain. This is why I focus on what the big players like Larry Fink have been telling us. And we know BlackRock has been talking about and going all in on tokenization for a while now. Now, on top of this, if we go over here, remember this announcement from the end of February? Citadel Securities, led by Ken Griffin, plans to become a liquidity provider for cryptocurrencies. Why is this important? Well, it's because remember that BlackRock and Citadel actually talked about launching a Texas stock exchange, and this is actually a tokenized Texas stock exchange Back in June, BlackRock Citadel Securities backed TXSE Group to launch Texas Stock Exchange. And if we scroll down and actually look at this, okay, we could see that this is going to be around potentially tokenized assets. I think that this will lead to tokenization of stocks. I think that we are going to see basically everything move on chain through players like Citadel, like BlackRock, and it's going to be through players like ONDO, because remember, ONDO already has, a connection to BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, and some of the biggest institutional players out there. I think that ONDO is probably one of the most efficient players to actually have this achieved. Now, of course, there's some other great projects in this space as well. We talk about them here and there. But even over here, going back to the beginning of February, Wall Street 2.0 towards the open economy, this basically broke down the limitations that traditional infrastructure and traditional technology really kind of boast. I mean, the limitations right now in traditional markets is very prominent. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that new technology will enable and ultimately make efficient so much around our current financial system, including, of course, stocks. And we even have here that today's financial markets are a remarkable achievement, refined over centuries to fuel economic growth, enable wealth creation, and expand opportunities for millions worldwide. Yet, despite these advancements, significant limitations persist: high costs, limited transparency, low settlement, restricted market hours, and siloed systems that fragment user experiences and constrain innovation. And again, these are all solved through new technologies like DLT, blockchain, DeFi. Even down here, as we thought deeply about the benefits of solving these issues, however, we came to believe that ultimately most of the benefits of public blockchains and DeFi come down to one thing: access. Access to capital wherever you are, enabled by better distributional infrastructure, including digital bearer assets like stablecoins, access to financial products and services previously only available to wealthy or institutional clients, enabled by smart contract-based protocols, access to custody and control of your assets, enabled by the use of private keys, the ability to grant or revoke access to your assets for various DeFi protocols to lend against, trade, etc., at whatever level of granularity you wish through explicit permissioning, access to these things whenever you want, including moving your assets to different DeFi protocols at any time, enabled by 24/7, 365 operations, access to the underlying infrastructure, allowing creation of new financial products and services enabled by the permissionless nature of public chains as well. All of this is enabled through these new technologies: DLT, blockchain, the tokenization of everything. We're talking about everything, not just stocks, everything will achieve all of these benefits greatly. That's why we look at Wall Street 2.0 and what ONDO is trying to, really kind of accomplish here. They are trying to give everyone global asset access. This is investors will get access to global assets, 24/7, 365 markets, better rates, and new investment opportunities. Not even just around, the efficiencies. Like, this is unlocking a world of everything. Faster settlement, cheaper, settlement, 24/7, 365 access, like everything that we see around DeFi and around crypto now. Imagine that around traditional markets. It would be an absolute game changer. And also remember that David Schwartz also talked a little bit about this as well, because they did put out a post saying our vision for Wall Street 2.0 isn't about doing away with legacy systems altogether. It's about driving innovation while integrating with foundations refined over centuries. ONDO and Ripple share a vision: meeting users where they are and making on-chain finance interoperable with legacy systems where trillions of dollars reside. And remember, it's why we're deploying OUSG to the XRP ledger, bringing institutional grade financial products to the home of institutional adoption. Check this out.
We're trying to build Wall Street 2.0, a new system built on more modern technologies with more modern capabilities. We're going to have to chip away at the obstacles that are preventing the type of interoperability, 24/7 access that we'd like to see. Companies like Ripple have been working on building interoperability with existing legacy systems so that we can meet our customers where they are, and we can, start to transform the financial system into something that works better. We're trying to build.
And that's what it's all about, right? It's not trying to rip and replace. It's how can we integrate and help these already legacy players that have been building for a while? How can we achieve these new efficiencies that this technology offers without having to rip and replace? And that's why we look at what NASDAQ is trying to do here, because I do believe that this will actually include these new technologies. I just feel as if they're not going to be able to accomplish this with traditional tech. So what do? They look at the best in class tech to actually do this with. They look at the underlying distributed ledgers. They look at the underlying projects that are here offering these solutions. And I do think that that's what's going to happen, just like Ondo is telling us over here. Now, on top of that, remember that Patrick McHenry just went on CNBC Asia talking about the $64 trillion tokenization opportunity and Ondo's role in bringing RWAs on-chain at scale. The United States is open for business. Firms like Ondo are best in class in the tokenization of real-world assets. We have a massive market to bring this new technology to. Bring it on-chain and do it in a regulated way. $64 trillion tokenization opportunity. Check this out.
Well, it's talk about a significant change in regime in the United States, and the United States is going to catch up. Singapore, Japan are market leaders in this space of taking blockchain technology and merging it with traditional finance. This summit from President Trump is to show that the United States is open for business, that there's a significantly different approach of this administration to this new technology. Well, it's not so new anymore, but this technology, and that it will find a regulated space here in the United States and room for growth.
This whole idea, taking a step back, of a national crypto reserve, right, had some people sort of scratching their heads, right, because it's sort of counterintuitive. Because, you think of crypto and folks have called it freedom money, et cetera. And now you're, it's all about being decentralized, right? And now you're talking about institutionalizing it, a national cryptocurrency reserve. I'm wondering whether or not the conversation actually moved on, because look, crypto obviously is not going away, right? So the right thing and maybe the smart thing to do is to embrace it and start thinking about regulating it, no?
I think so. I think in the United States, we need a market structure bill. We need a stablecoin regime, two laws that are lacking at the federal level. We need a definition of what is a digital asset. And then we need to get the regulators at work at deploying this technology actively to traditional finance. Firms like Ondo are best in class. What they're doing is tokenizing real world assets, securities. And we have a massive market to bring this new technology to and bring it on chain and do it in a regulated way. And I think that's going to be what's going to happen in 2025 is deployment and software updates to key pieces of financial infrastructure using crypto.
All right, so you're obviously going to be engaging. Ondo is going to be engaging the Trump administration. I'm wondering what your guidance is going to be like, especially on this whole cryptocurrency reserve. First off, I mean, where's the money going to come from? How's it going to be funded? Or how should it be funded?
The United States does possess a massive amount of cryptocurrencies that they've seized through legal procedures. Through various different ways of law enforcement. What the crypto reserve is trying to establish is some reasonable way of owning, possessing, and the United States being clear with the public of what they own and what they possess. I think that's a rational thing. Now, having a wide array of folks of objects in that national crypto reserve, I think is more of a statement the United States is catching up, the United States is serious about crypto, and the United States thinks it's important and is going to be embraced. I think it's a bigger statement piece than it is of practical value creation for owners of crypto.
Is there a connection between the National Cryptocurrency Reserve and the president's other idea? Another one of the president's ideas, it's already been talked about. He's already announced that a U.S. sovereign wealth fund.
Yes, he's talked about this significantly. The United States should be investing in getting value of economic growth. I think these are larger statements than they are about economic policy. It is a mentality that the president's trying to convey rather than a market impact he's trying to bring about. We have the National Petroleum Reserve, and so these words in the United States are pretty typical to say something is important and strategically vital to the United States economy. So I don't really get hung up on the particulars of those policies. I think economic growth, innovation, and regulatory clarity are the key things this administration is going to bring about and have a massive impact.
Now that clarity
Said of
combined with the adoption is going to lead to these massive trillions of dollars to be actually moved on chain through tokenization. I'm very excited to see the future really kind of paved with projects like ONDO, because remember what ONDO and what Ripple with the XRP ledger and all of these other big players as well are really kind of enabling. They're enabling the future of finance. This is something that I personally have been watching become a reality for a while in this space. I have always focused on these utility projects because of what they actually can accomplish if adopted and utilized at scale in the right ways. I think that we're getting to that end point. I think that we're finally getting, to that finish line where we could finally say, all right, well, these projects are now being utilized. We are now starting to see entire asset classes being tokenized. I think that this is the starting point here. And I think that we're almost past the finish line of actually getting everything in place that we need in order to actually see the real race begin, which is the race to, utilization and integration. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.